Today's day 2 of 100 of making videos on the go. And in a lot of ways, and uh, while I walk, I'm thinking about how quickly it is to go from this is new to this is me. Let me explain. When I was 25 years old and had this idea of building a business, there was this vision of like, I'm gonna go travel. I want to go see the world. I want to go do things. I hadn't really ever traveled. I think the first time I got on a plane, I was like 16 years old. So maybe the second time was like 20, when I was 20. So I hadn't traveled very much. And when I traveled, there was like this vision that started to come alive, where the things that I knew that I could understand didn't seem relevant anymore. It felt like the more I learned, the more I didn't know. Oh man, this is a Japanese garden? What? And do I like not talk in a Japanese garden? I don't know. So I learned very quickly that what I knew was no longer relevant. And my idea of travel was that you kind of did it on big occasions. So traveling for fun, traveling for adventure was far-fetched. It took a while to really understand it. Then I met some really cool people who helped me see there was a different way, right? I think this is a really important part of being around the right audience, is that they show you that what you think is small compared to what they see or think or feel or do. Anyway, I meet some people who travel for fun. They travel like every 2 months. They travel somewhere big. And what I learned is that there's a lifestyle where you travel. Again, I had never experienced that. Well, flash forward a couple years, I was coaching youth soccer. I was building a financial education company. I was freelance graphic designing. I was doing all kinds of stuff. Nothing was really sticking. I was just trying to make it work. But as I'm doing all that, I start to travel. And at the time, travel felt really foreign. Travel felt like, when I'm in a place like this, like it just does something to me. But the more I traveled, the more it felt like travel was no longer this strange, odd part of my life, and was instead who I was becoming. And it actually doesn't take that long before you're like, no, this is standard. Here's another example of how quickly that can change. If you have ever flown first class, you know that when you fly first class one time, you're like, oh shit, man, how do I get more of this? It's really important. But travel for me was like, I'm going to go to somewhere. I remember going to Brazil for the 2014 World Cup. And it was like, dang, I want more of this, right? That's a really important statement. I want more of this. So you do it when you're like, I want more of this. How do I get more of this? Went to Brazil. A couple years later, I think it was after that, I went to Croatia, not to Croatia, to Costa Rica. I'm like, I want more of this. Went a little bit further, want more of this. Went to Europe, want more of this. Went to Barcelona, want more of this. And very quickly, it just became what I did all the time. It doesn't take that long. But what I've learned is that it takes the amount of time to convince yourself that this is normal now. I talk about this a lot with clients. It starts with an intention. An intention becomes a behavior. A behavior becomes a habit if you do it enough. Habit becomes an identity. And like that cycle can be 3 days, right? There are people that have made tremendous change, at least in my world. And I think there have been some of the most predominantly loud and aggressive experiences in my life have been like big change, 3 days. Like you don't have time to figure out how to change to be a dad. You just got to do it right away. That's one example. But like when the pain is high enough, you'll change fast. So, oh, dude, check this out. Where'd it go? Okay, you can't really see it. Check this out. I don't know what you call that thing, but that thing is sweet. Uh, so travel was this thing where it was like I've tried it now 3 times. I'm just gonna make this standard. Same thing with first class. I did it once, and was like, how do I make this standard? So there's this world now that I spend a lot of time in, where the goal is actually to claim what you want more of. Goal is to announce it, to spend time thinking and intentionally dreaming up like, what is it that you want more of? Because if you can state what you want more of, you are predisposed to getting it. You're more likely to get it. And my travel journey, like now I'm in Spokane, Washington. I've never been to Spokane. Really tiny airport. It's like the only airport I've ever been to where you can walk across the street and be at a hotel. And I've been to like 92 airports across the globe. But when you start saying like, hey, this is what I want more of, it doesn't feel that unfamiliar. We just have to get to a place where we change what's normal. In other words, we change our standard, right? We change what is standard. We change what we believe is standard. We change what we feel like is standard. And I think life changes when you change your standards. If you will eat fast food, I remember in high school killing and crushing some double cheeseburgers. The dollar menu, for sure. The dollar menu in high school was a very safe and revered space. Didn't have any money. But now it falls below standard. Like I wouldn't eat a double cheeseburger. It's not going to do it. It's below standard. So the question that I reflect on often is like, what about my world today, what choices am I making that need to change as far as standards? Because if you change your standard, well, in many ways, you change your future. I think you change your future. So like, how do I even say this? I don't even know how to say this. The thing that has changed the most in the last 10 years, because I've been in business for myself about 8 years, going on 9. So in about a decade, my life has changed dramatically. Income has changed dramatically. Health has changed dramatically. Mindset, opportunities. Like I get to speak on stage and travel across the globe to do amazing shit. Like I'm really fucking proud of that. And also, if someone were to ask me like, what did you do? I would have to say, I changed my standard. When you change what you tolerate and you start saying no to things, everything opens up, doors open up. And travel has been one of those things. I love to travel. I love to walk around places like this. Look at this space. So I'm in the middle of Spokane, Washington. I actually don't know where I'm at in Spokane, Washington. I'm here with 2 guys. We're going to do a business dive weekend. We're going to talk about business and life and health and money and all these things. Spend a couple days together and review our business, review our vision, what we want to do. And there was a point, maybe if I really go back, like it probably would be 10 years ago, where I would have said this was the exception, not the rule, where this is like a rare treat, where this happens once in a while. Now, it's just the standard. Like, I plan this. This happens 4 times a year. I do this at least 4 times a year, if not more. I travel. I go to a place that feels serene, special, and work on the business. There's not a part of me now that's like, this is an option. There's not a part of me now that's like, this is a luxury. There's not a part of me now that's like, well, maybe. It just has become normal. And I get Damn, that reset the whole timer. Oh, dang. Fire trucks, the loud noises, the phone calls set the free time. Oh man, the life of recording content. Uh, there. So all these things have become standard. That doesn't mean I don't appreciate them. Just because they were luxury once doesn't mean that you don't appreciate them because they're not. It's not a luxury anymore for me to travel and go see the world. It's standard. It doesn't mean I don't value it. Doesn't mean I don't appreciate it. Doesn't mean I'm not grateful for it. It just means it's not luxury. I think you have got to change your definition of luxury. You got to up your standard, up your bottom line, and make some really big moves. And I can tell you, that shit is really uncomfortable. It is very, very unorthodox to do that. It is outside of the standard. It's outside of what normal people do. It's outside of what most people do. It's outside of what people that are silent about. Oh, that doesn't make sense. It's like, what am I trying to say here? What are you trying to say, Ron? It's like the people that want to make this shit happen, they don't have an excuse. Everyone else has a reason not to. Oh, it's expensive. Okay, we'll figure out how to make more money. Oh, it takes too much time. Okay, we'll figure out how to make more time. I don't know. I don't feel like there's any other way. I don't feel like there's any other option. I don't feel like there's any other choice. It just has to be. Tell me what your dream is. Let's raise our standards. Let's do something for long enough that it no longer becomes a luxury. It just becomes your standard, and let's keep raising the bar. I want to find a life at the very end, fully expressed in every way. Generosity, with relationships, with friendships, with parenthood, with love, with money, with time, with art. I want to be fully expressed. I want to die empty. And to do that, I have to regularly change my standard because expression changes. So, hello from Spokane, Washington. I hope you are having an amazing day today. And I hope that you start to look at your future and say, wow, okay, if that's what I want, how do I go have it so many times that it just becomes the norm? Because that, my friends, is the secret. We make our spectacular moments normal moments, and we keep on chasing. Stay out of your own way. Keep on growing.